please make sure y'all hit that like button. Please make sure you hit that subscribe button, and please make sure you hit that notification bell on the right hand side. Remember, we do go live each and every Monday, Wednesday, Friday, 6 o'clock Eastern time. Like always, thank you for tuning in to KL Culture Radio. Hakeem Jordan. Oh, and also we have a special guest. But I'm gonna introduce that special guest shortly. Hakeem Jordan, what's cracking like? What's going on?
Living the dream.
Hey man, I'm doing good, man. Hey man, y'all Miami Dolphins, y'all they on the scoring spree, y'all. They put 70 points on them boys, y'all. Crazy, crazy. Oh, I want to show you guys what I got today. What came in today? I know y'all can
But
see
the coffee mug. No,
the
is the
coffee mug.
background's fading it with it.
Yeah, hold on. Yeah, you can't. There we go. There we go. There we go.
The
It came
coffee.
in. It came in today.
Okay. I been up soon, so I'm at my house as well. And all that, but guys, I would like to introduce you to Christopher J. Christopher J is a going to be a well-known content creator. Hey, Sherelle, what's cracking? Like, Sherelle, I'm gonna hit you up later because we gotta have you on the show. I'm gonna hit you up later about that. But, oh man, the first lady, Sherelle. No, pretty much we have Christopher J. Pretty much going to be a well-known content creator. He started off channel, not only that, but he's a good friend of Thanos and a lot of people within the space. And I mean, I got to know him from being around this different type of spaces, and I noticed that he was very outgoing and very open, especially when it comes to the aspect of marriage. That way, I don't know if y'all ever saw Hakeem and Jordan. Every time you send me the comment, he's always going in on us when it comes to marriage because
Yeah.
I see he's smiling. He's also a married man. Now that he's been doing a great job interviewing different content creators, man, I'm gonna let him introduce himself to you. Christopher J, let the guys know who are you, what you about. Come on, tell them about yourself, big dog.
That's a good question, man. But first of all, peace and blessing. Thank you guys for allowing me on the platform. Just real simple, man. I'm just I can't even call myself a young man no more because I'll be 36 in November. Just a
Mm.
man from Houston, Texas. Uh,
H-Town down.
I don't personally. The reason why I'm in this space now is because I hear people. Back then, I hear people talk, get their own perspective. They
Mhm.
like to be safe. They don't want to hurt no one's feelings. And me personally, I'm not here to hurt no one's feelings, but at the same time, I'm not gonna lie to you. You fucking
Mhm.
up, you fucking up. And I'm not gonna let you crash and burn just because I don't want to hurt your feelings. So I'm I'm me, just no holds bars for the most part. So if you want the truth, you're gonna get the truth.
So, Christopher J, you are perfect for this title and this topic. I know you're gonna go in. We're gonna let you go in. You know how we do. We're gonna let you go in. So, Jordan, go ahead, do your thing.
What's going on, people? What's going on, people? Glad y'all see y'all in the chat. I hope y'all had a wonderful, wonderful weekend. Now I'll see you guys with us. We about to get it popping. About to get it in. So we have a topic for you guys that that we definitely gonna be jumping on. Some might find it entertainment, but some might think like we're gonna be serious as well. So this is about Y'all Duff's cousin Jay Fizzle. So he went viral this weekend after having a peaceful interview with all his 14 plus baby mamas children at the same time. I don't know how he did it, but he got all his baby mothers in an interview at the same time. And this is right here is crazy, 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 crazy. This is something that you will rarely see. But as you can see, we believe, media, social media, or main media, they try to push more of the single fathers, of baby fathers to be, be baby fathers instead of, either being in a relationship or being together. And this is not the first time we hear it. This is not the first time. I remember there was another time when we did a video before. There was a guy. I think he had like 7 baby moms at the time, and he said like, and I remember he say, he won't pull out. He gonna have more kids. He's gonna have more kids. And it's like I said, this is not the first time it's happened, but we see like there's a more come up of how these baby fathers coming out having babies by multiple women, 5, 10. And you can see right here it's 14, and it's crazy. So we have a video we're gonna play for you guys from Jay Fizzle or what he was saying, and after that we're gonna chop it up. Go ahead, Hakeem. That's right, Justin. Me out time to snip.
Yep, vasectomy.
I think you had 10 last time he was on here.
14 plus.
14 plus.
Yeah.
I take you ain't done, is you?
Hey, look, you wanna be real?
Come on, be real with us.
Nah, I ain't done. I ain't done. All of them got different babies. All of them got different baby mamas. I got all of them too, you feel me?
That's a lot of mouths to feed, bro.
I ain't tripping. I put pretty shit.
How proud do you think Dolph would be, you know,
I
looking
know
down,
he
seeing
happy.
this
I know he
shit,
happy
seeing
as
you
hell
doing
right
this?
now. I know he happy as hell right now.
Yeah, I dig that, man.
I got.
I'm going crazy.
14 plus, Hakeem. 14 plus.
He got 14 plus baby mamas, man, and you can see, man, this is going crazy. To me, it started with as we all know, as Nick Cannon, he has what 1, 2, 3, 4. He has 5 baby mamas with what 12 kids, and we talked about that before. And we've seen that it's hiding up in our community, especially in our black community of black men. And to me, I think it's getting out of control. So I'm gonna pass it to you guys. I'm gonna start with you first, Christopher J. What's your take on this topic of these? You've seen these black men that's having multiple baby mamas.
There's so many ways I could dissect this. Let me start with this guy. Fuck him. Not literally, because that's how he got in this situation. But fuck him. Because for you to think that this shit is cool, this shit is player, I don't respect you. Question is, what do you do for a living? How are you providing for these children? Now, some people are going to say he's a rapper. Let's say if he was a well-known rapper. Rappers are not making money. Don't bring up Drake. Don't bring up Nicki Minaj. Don't bring up Eminem. Don't bring up 50 Cent, Jay-Z. Don't bring up these anomalies. Don't bring me the top percent of rappers or former rappers who are able to make smart business decisions, or better yet, had smart business people around them so they can make the right business deals, so they can make the money. Most of these rappers you see do not make any money. Be advised, there's a strong possibility whoever's watching this, brothers on the panel, strong possibility you make more money than these rappers. It is on record a long time ago, just as an example, just to get the idea of how much money these rappers don't make. Once upon a time, Bow Wow was signed to Young Money, Cash Money. Bow Wow was getting paid $4,000 a month. My father at that time was making more than $4,000 a month. So I had a quick glimpse to realize that these rappers are not making money. And there was another incident on Super Bowl weekend when it was in Houston, Super Bowl 51. I won't go into details with that, but these rappers are not making money. But you got 14 baby mamas. Don't tell me you Muslim, because I'll let the Muslim brothers speak on that, because they don't respect it. And if they don't respect it, why should I respect it? Now let me briefly get on the women. Who should I blame between baby mama number 1 and baby mama number 14? You know who I'm blaming? Baby mama number 2 and 3 and moving forward. You saw this, but you chose to partake in it. What do you want me to do with that besides calling you a fool? So I don't respect nobody that is playing a part in this situation. If anything, I feel sorry for the children. And that's about as nice as I'm going to get.
And don't you said a lot of big facts, but on one of the people I think right now, in society itself is promoting men, especially black men, to just be more baby daddies than actual fathers. That's one way me and Hakeem and Jordan were talking about before we came on the show on Christopher, is because of the aspect of you never see them actually promote us black men to be husbands. They mostly promote us to be like these type of baby fathers will have multiple women with multiple kids. Prime example, look at Future, look at 50 Cent, like all these other guys, especially in the rap game, because they already know culturally, black people are driven by that by music, especially by the hip hop community. So they'll use that to portray us being that is. We just the one giving out the seed, but we're not the one that's actually being in the household. And I think that's a big problem with today in our society. Cause think about it, 14 baby mamas. Now I understand one or two, I'll be like, okay, cool.
That's not a flex.
But 14? Most men barely can even take care of two. So that's why like, or even one. So it's like when you hear stuff like that, it's like the mind blowing. That's why I was so shocked by it when I actually saw this. I'm like, is this real? Yes, it is. It's real. And not only that, but it's the women's. I know people don't say, "Oh, it's not the women." It's the women's fault. And some agree in some ways because the women know he have all these different baby mamas, but yet they continue to sleep with him, unprotected. So I could blame him as well. I'm like, man, bro, get a vasectomy, protect yourself. What the hell you doing? But at the same time, as a woman too, because they still allowing their legs to be open and allow this type of man to come inside of them, so they can also be another baby mama possibility. 15. Go ahead, I can.
Y'all brothers spoke so eloquently. You know what I mean? Shout outs to everybody in the chat. You know, sexual promiscuity has always been promoted in our community. It's always been accepted. Now, the fundamental question I would want to ask: what kind of quality of woman that was standing up there? We've seen how all of them was dressed. I'm not trying to point no fingers. Now, are these the women that are going to HBCUs, or these are the women who are getting their degrees, who are allowing this guy to, you know what I mean, nut up in them? You feel me? So when I look at the 14 of women, are these the 14 of women that we consider and respect the most? Is he considered a high value man to those women?
I came just hear me out say 16 baby mamas, not 14, 16.
Oh, 16.
So you missed it.
So you know what I mean?
That's even worse.
Basically, I also would want to ask is this: where was his father at? And he said young Dolph would be smiling down on him. Young Dolph only had 2 kids, and he had been with the same woman for years. He didn't marry her, but he had been with that same woman, and there was no rumor of him being sexually promiscuous outside. But you know, like these rappers, a lot of these people do a bunch of different things. So I look at that from that perspective. Like, if we say something about it, they said we can't speak on women being sexually liberated. If we chastise the man, they say we simps and haters. These are a sector or group of black people that I don't fall into their group. I'm over 40. I have no kids. I haven't been married yet. I've been raised in a 2-parent household. And you know what I mean, I'm religiously inclined about things. So I look at that, he's not in my bracket of things. This is a sector of the black community, and we need to start differentiating these people from us. You feel me? To be like, okay, that's our brother, but our brother falls into another bracket. He does his thing, but we don't support that over there.
Yeah, man, and I'm gonna go towards the women on this, and to me, it's like I feel like with these women that have sex with this man, I just feel like they get stuck of the title rapper, or maybe a title of a rapper, or or a basketball player, or a football player, somebody in entertainment, or actor, something like that. I feel like when the women, when they get have sex with a guy, with a rapper of some sort, and they get pregnant by him. And then they might walk around with the baby, say, "Oh, who's the baby daddy? Oh, he's a rapper." And the thing is, when they say a rapper, they think of, oh, he must have a lot of money. Wow, Christopher just says, like, usually rappers are broke. Only 0.0001% of rappers have money. And I feel like in our black community, we get stuck when somebody say, "I got, my baby daddy's a rapper, my baby daddy's a basketball player." We get stuck about saying, oh, she has sex with somebody that makes a lot of money. And we not really think about, hey, the average rapper or the average basketball player, if you're not LeBron James, Steph Curry, or Jimmy Butler, you'll make hundreds of dollars or $1 million at that. Usually, they don't make a lot of money. And I just feel like, we're in 2023, just the society we in here, and especially in the Black community, we'll be here to when women are, they really are big being groupies, and to me they just look at somebody on social media. If you got the name title rapper, or you got the social status, like you go on Instagram, you got 100,000 followers or 500,000 followers, you make some type of money, which is, as we know, that is not the case. You probably have 1 million followers and you still be broke. And I feel like women are falling towards the status of the name of the status, other than is he a good father, or is he a good man? You know what I'm saying? Or possibly in a long-term relationship like that. You know, that's how it's looking right now. Women they just fall for the status, the name, the status, how many Instagram followers you got, and that's basically it. And that's what you can see about the 16 plus baby mamas. They just looking at the title and the status, and that's it. It's pretty much it's the cloud of
No, but this is the crazy thing. I know y'all won't believe this, but this is actually the crazy thing. The men that don't have no kids, mind you, Hakeem, Jordan, and Christopher, they will see that man less of a man. The man that have the most kids, they'll see him more as a man. That's the crazy about this society. Because I'll be like, even when I be around, especially around these spaces, I would see like man would tell another man who doesn't have a child, your seed doesn't work. Why have you not getting a girl pregnant yet? So you see how they going that ideology to black men to go ahead and have kids early. Not only that, but have more kids that they know you can't pretty much couldn't afford. Especially right now with the inflation, when things being totally high. Most men not even earning that type of, especially black men, is not earning that type of much than other racial men, and they telling us men to go ahead, get 14 baby mamas, get 14 girls, get them all pregnant. I mean 16 girls, get them all pregnant, have all these kids, and then find a way to provide for them. Even though in society everything is pretty much cost sufficient, everything is high. That's a crazy about our society, and that's why I'm like, okay, is this what's going on in the black community? This is the way we're heading now? Is to have all these kids and there's no form of accountability nowhere? Go ahead, Christopher.
No, you right, because you got some dumbasses in this space who will shun the idea of marriage but promote the toxicity of, how can I say this, out of wedlock pregnancy, single motherhood, single fatherhood, child support, but they complain about spousal support. And that's why maybe I pulled back away from a lot of panels, because it's going to get to the point where I start telling people you're not qualified to speak. Look at your resume and look at others. Don't look at mine, because I guess that's too high to reach. Although it's very simple. It's real. Don't have a child until you get married. It's really not that difficult to do. And I think someone's brought up high value. Like, is this man high value? Of course not. Because to be high value, one of the qualities is sexual discipline. There's nothing disciplined about having 14 to 16 kids out of wedlock, especially with these type of women. You bring one of these type of women around a certain sex, and for the record, I'm not a high value man, so take what I'm saying, still take what I'm saying very seriously. You bring one of these women around me, where I work at, where I rest my head at, or wherever I socialize, I'm gonna look at you crazy like, is something going on? What's going what's going on at home? What's going on at work? Did something traumatic in your life happen? Like, why are you bringing this female around us, number one, but more importantly, why do you think that this is okay for you to settle with? Like, granted, everybody has a past, everybody can change, cool, but I want to see the finished product. It seemed like these projects haven't got off the ground. So I personally would never be in a situation like this. I wouldn't sleep with them, let alone bust a nut in them. That's just me. But I guess those standards are too high for most people in this space.
Yeah.
Look at how King shocked, huh? This brother's deep.
No. I support. I definitely support him. You know, the only thing I look at it too is that we're kind of like in a weird space as far as like black relationships and the way we accept or what we promote. And you know, for a lot of points, you can even look at it from this point, like, you know, some girls know that certain things are wrong, or men know that certain things are wrong, but we just won't speak on it. You know what I mean? And the way we live our lives is comfortable. Because I totally agree with 100%. You say I'm all for marriage. I'm all for trying to have kids in wedlock and stuff like that. But then, you know what I mean, we have a sector of the community that, okay, some things have happened and now they have kids. Should we exclude them out of the dating pool? You know what I mean? Now what this guy is doing is excessive. Is you might as well say it's a health crisis, because we all know, if we follow statistics, if he smashed 14 of them, out of them 14, one of them had to give him a disease.
Yeah,
Yeah.
100%.
Just because you want to let you off the show,
Allegedly. But I'm just saying, if we following statistics in the city of Memphis, we could put up the stats.
700%.
Huh?
700% syphilis rate in Memphis.
Yep.
Oh, for real?
Yeah. Same thing with Houston. So if they say 1 out of 14 people has it, and he has kids with 14 women, allegedly, this and that. So this is also a health crisis too. But then, you know what I mean, we all talk about, you know what I mean, de-discipline. We all talk about this. And, you know, the thing I said, Christopher, when I mentioned, is he a high-value man, did these women look at him as a high-value man?
Y'all don't know what high value is.
No, they don't.
No, they just like the fact he's a hood nigga.
You
Some women,
shouldn't.
I talk about that all the time in the aspect of some of these women. Some of these women like those type of men. Not all. But go ahead.
No, and that's the point. And that's the point. When I say, I looked at a lot of those girls that was on there. They're not dressed like the women that are in our comment section. You know what I mean? They're not dressed like them. They don't have the kind of jobs as them. But should we look at them in a certain way? Because we're trying to understand, like, hey, what would compel you to sleep with a guy with 14 kids? Or let's say, let's be honest. Let's say when he was, because last time he was on there, he said he had 10. So he had 4 more new kids. So I want to talk to the 4 young women that was on there, because a lot of them girls look young. What did compel you to be with somebody who had 10 kids? Was you going to be a super stepmom? You don't even have enough time to spend with one, let alone if you're trying to build your legacy and leave something behind. So my thing is, and this is for the women who listen to us, because they always say we don't hold these kind of men accountable. This guy is not even in our group. You're married. He's married. I'm not married, but I don't have kids. Ronnie don't have kids. Some of the people who don't have kids. So we hold ourselves to a high standard. We promote marriage here, but now we're wondering, you have many of these guys popping up on social media.
And then you had one of them who faked to say he has. Remember, he had one guy who faked, who said he had seven kids and 7 baby mamas.
Mm-hmm.
And that was just crazy right there. And I would say this is what we miss in our black community, and we need to bring it back. We talked about these 4 fellas. It's bringing shame back. We feel like, you know, shame is very, very bad in our community, and it's just, if we don't bring shame back, it's just going like a downfall.
Go ahead.
I'll go a step further than that. Isolation.
Okay.
Isolation. 100% isolation. So that way, if we're walking down the street, you're on that side, I'm on this side. I'm gonna point to my son, and I'm gonna say, "You see this man out here? This is what he did. Don't you do what he does, and definitely don't you mess with any women of this caliber because they're gonna bring your value down, and you ain't about to bring my last name down in the process."
I feel you on that, brother. I definitely feel you on that.
So it's funny that you say that because growing up, my mother always used to say, "Hey, don't bring no babies home." She always say, "Hey, if you ain't gonna marry him, don't bring no babies home." That's always what she say. And you know,
Mm,
what I mean, she would always threaten us and say, "We gonna kick you and your brother out if y'all bring Miles here. We don't got, we taking care of y'all." So that compelled my brother to go get married, and he's been with his wife 24 or something years. You know what I'm trying to say? You know what I mean? One child, best father in the world. You know what I mean? Shout out to all the fathers. You know what I mean? Who in their kids' lives and stuff like that. You know what I'm saying? So you know what I mean? There's a representation that we need to have, and I think there's like I would love to see. You know what I mean? To hear and talk to this guy. Hey, did you grow up in a big house, or was sexual promiscuity taught to you, or you thought just because you got a little dope money, you can go out here and slang raw D? You know what I mean? Because if you slanging them like that, what about the ones you ain't get pregnant? Because listen here, nobody, you know what I mean? We talking about this. I've had friends who I went to school with who died of those diseases. Slang, you know what I mean? I got, you know what I mean? I got a friend right now who's going through that. And it's a tough, you know what I mean? It's a tough situation to swallow. But then we're saying that, hey, buddy, you was out here slanging D. Should I blame him for not practicing, or should I blame the woman for allowing it? So that's the fundamental question.
I want to say this too, Hakeem. There's certain women, and I hear this in the southern states. I don't know, but here I know here like here because I live in the West Coast or when I hit the Midwest. A lot of these women in the southern states do not like to use condoms. They don't. They
Sweet,
feel like you
sweet.
use if they feel like if you use a condom, they feel like if you use a condom with her, they say, why you need to use that for? Like I said, like they feel dirty. Some of these women do not like to use condoms.
Yeah, but that's the thing too. Let's say, for example, if a woman, not all of them, but that they will come and look at, let's say, for example, Christopher J, who's married, Jordan, who's married. I can't. You and I are not married, of course, but we have a higher standard
Mm-hmm.
aspect of women, especially when it comes to children, kids, and wives and girlfriends. They will look. Some of them will look as lame. They'll be like, "Why are you not like the guy that have 14 kids or 16 kids? Ain't you a man? You supposed to be out here reproducing, and y'all not having kids. You're not out here like having sex out of wedlock or all these other things."
Ronnie, you know what else they'll say too? They'll say, "Are you gay?"
Ooh,
Yeah,
Jesus.
They'll ask you that.
Can
Yeah,
I
my heart.
can I offer a rebuttal?
Yeah.
yeah. Go ahead.
If you never had a man in your life, how would you know what one looks like?
Mm-hmm.
In a discussion. See, so the problem is and I guess this is where we got to take our L's as men.
Yeah.
We allow certain narratives to run rampant because, for the most part, whatever the narrative is, it doesn't affect us, and technically, it still doesn't affect us. But at the same time, if we're really talking about bettering the community, we got to take control of the narrative. And
Yes.
the problem is, we allow other people to tell our story. We allow other people to dictate codes, rules, and regulations of the household and of the community. So I say we're just going to grab the steering wheel and take back control, or else it's going to be a continuous pattern.
Mhm. And the thing is about it too I'm going to add on to this. It's like a lot of women tell a lot of black men stories of how a lot of black men are not good. We hit out of all the all the communities. It's like the worst here of how black fathers or black men are the worst out of any other communities. And I ain't lying about that. What was she say?
She said everyone should stop finding themselves in and out of wrong alleys. He says reproducing like an alley cat is no play. That's a fact.
I agree.
I agree.
And the
She hit the nail on that.
And the problem is, a lot of these women are not being educated as well, because
Mm-hmm.
some of these girls are being raised, of course, without their fathers in their lives, especially when it comes to the aspect of our community. Especially, the father not being there at the home. These little girls are growing up. They with their mom, but their mom are only doing the best she could. So they're going out there and they meet these type of men. These men say, "No worry, baby, I'm gonna take care of you. Don't worry about that." After he with you, majority of the time, those type of men leaves. They don't really stay in the relationship very long time. Now I say, if I was on the porch and I would ask the guy on the porch, I would ask him. Of course, I was like, "Okay, you say cool with all your baby mamas financially? Are you really cool with all your baby mamas? Because he may not like. They be like, that one's probably I had a kid by her by accident. I didn't mean to have a child with her, but it just happened by accident." He would probably use that excuse. So that's why I say the guy that was pretty much interviewing him, he should have asked the exact right question, because I do want to hear that guy's thoughts when it came to the aspect of, like, how do you deal with all these women, especially all these different type of personalities? Because it's not one of three; it's like one of 16. That's a lot.
Yeah,
right.
that's a starting offense for football, and some backups. Hell, not to think about that's a whole entire NBA team, NBA
There you
roster right
go.
there.
Yep.
Second string and third string.
There you
Man,
go.
but the thing is, like, sometimes I think, like, how could we, the biggest issue for us to allow things like that to happen is accountability is one thing, but as people, we practice something that has been our biggest downfall: mind your own business. The mind your own business, it has been so bad for us. Kids running around shooting up things, guys who are loose is this. And I always say this, and I've always practiced this too. I met anybody who had multiple kids. I ask questions. I say, "Fam, how you had them? Was you married?" Because I want to know what's going on to see if I'm going to associate myself with you. You know what I mean? Because I need to know what's going on. It's the same thing. I asked the same question with a woman. I said, "How did you have your kids?" You know what I mean? You know what I mean? If there was certain circumstances that the explanation was good, then I could say, okay, I understand that. But if you telling me, "Yeah, man, I just was out here," I'm gonna be like, I
I
gotta
got a
be
question.
out. Mm-hmm.
I got a question for you guys. Do you think in our community, the JJ is a black man's downfall?
Say that one more time.
It's the for JJ a black man's downfall.
Lack of a father in the house is a black man's downfall. Because the VJJ going with the VJJ been here and been there. There's strong men who ain't never fall short on that. We got a number of them. We got examples here every day of guys who's haven't even cheated on their wife or slept around. Denzel, Samuel L. Jackson. I'm using these guys, but
I would rebuttal with Hakeem, but do you see that around your circle, or do you see that in your average life? Because a lot of women will say, "Hey, you might talk about Denzel, somebody from celebrities, or maybe somebody that you know personally." But to me, it's you don't see it talk about it a lot like it should be.
So, and I'm gonna bring this back, and you're right. The guys who I knew who didn't have a father had multiple children. The guys who I knew who had daddies in the house didn't have one. I know a guy right now who I grew up with who's a certified street nigga, but his daddy was in his life. He only has 2 kids, and he's been with the same woman since high school. He didn't have no other kids. But I got other guys who I went to school with who they didn't even know who their daddies were. 7, 6. I'm bumping into their kid. And it was like, "Oh, you used to hang with my daddy." And I'm like, "Who is you?" So I look at it from that perspective. My father's been in my life my whole life. And he had sometimes art imitates life. You mimic what you see after time. If your uncle was around, he's a pimp, he's around here slanging, you say, okay, I'm doing the same thing. But if your daddy came to work every day, only had you and your brothers and sisters, my nigga, I didn't go through what a lot of these brothers went through. I know my brother. I've had all my siblings in the same house. We all got the same mama, same daddy. I don't know nothing about that. You feel what I'm trying to say? So I try to look at it from their perspective. I'm like, damn, if my daddy provided this for me, I need to provide that for my kids. I didn't come up in a fragmented house. So I look at it from that.
What about this, Hakeem? What do we talk about? Let's just say for myself, I was raised in a single parent household.
Ooh.
And what if you're in an environment that you see on a daily basis, you were raised in it, but you had no choice but to be in it, if you get what I'm saying.
Yeah, go ahead, Chris. Y'all brothers, I'll answer go attack with that, dude.
But y'all make a good point. Hakeem, you make a great point on the aspect of you differentiate the guy getting raised with a father and guy getting raised without a father. But then also there's guys like Jordan who were raised in a single parent household and don't have no kid without a well life because he got married and he doing things the right way. So I can't really say all the men doing it that's being raised in a single parent household. However, the numbers kind of does show that aspect of if the father's not there, majority of the time the men are having sex irresponsibly. It just shows. Because, like, prime example, me, I have my father in my life, and I don't have any kids. And I can't tell you, women is not a problem for me, but it's just that I always had a responsible mind. Hey, I'm not just gonna have kids by any type of woman. Hell no, that's not happening. Especially in the city we live in, Hakeem. You already know it's known for guys to be, and Jordan, you already know as well, for guys to be baby daddies and baby fathers. That's just a regular. It's just like walking down the park. You get what I'm saying? Go ahead, Hakeem. You was gonna say something.
No. Can I say something?
Yeah, go ahead.
I was gonna say, but what helped me with that is what scared me the most was child support. I did not want to be if like I said, I saw men get have sex with baby mamas and not to see the child support and how much to pay and everything and all that type of stuff. And that's what helped me right there. So okay, I don't want to do all that. I mean, if I was gonna have sex with a chick, I was gonna wear protection. And if I was having a kid with somebody, I was gonna be married because child support. That's all I heard. I was like, no, I'm not doing that. That's what kind of helped me. Go ahead, Christopher.
Well, my dad's from Nigeria, and I'll just leave it right there.
Oh, that's it.
That's it. That's it right there. I already know right there.
That's all.
Bam.
That's it.
I already know.
Doesn't it?
No,
you see, I didn't get that. You from Houston?
Yeah.
Oh, you know what I'm saying? I'm like, that's it. The shop closed right there.
And I guess this would be a perfect time to out with that. But I'm gonna show y'all the difference of a father being some type of importance. I'm going to just peel the curtains back on my life just a little bit. There's a time period where I wanted to get from underneath my father's covering. Made a lot of bad decisions underneath without his covering at all. And I made one decision that got my girlfriend at the time pregnant. Now the question is, where does Gracie come in? Well, as far as that young lady, miscarriage. And had to break down to my dad what happened. And like I said, he's Nigerian. So I'm gonna let you guys think of how that conversation went.
Oh, are you stupid? Are you gonna listen? I worked for a Nigerian man.
Mm-hmm.
They're not playing games. They're very strict on success. The reason why these guys are where they at, because the fathers don't play them things. I know he had maybe hours of conversation running your ass the whole time.
Oh yeah. Like when you talk, When he talks, there's no end in sight. You just gotta sit that one out. Just whatever plans you have for that day, just cancel it.
But Hakeem and Christopher and Jordan, it could be a culture thing too, because if it's not a culture, look at his father, how he raised him, and he's Nigerian. Our fathers raised us totally different because we're Haitian.
Yeah.
Jordan raised differently because he's American.
Yeah.
So it shows the difference culturally. But these men who's getting these women pregnant, they are raised in a society where there is no culturally roles or no culturally balance to give these men. These men are getting taught from the music and from entertainment. That's what they're getting taught from.
Now, I do want to give a caveat about this.
Go ahead.
There is a section of black culture who does follow culture of immigrants. This particular culture and black culture are the ones who are heavily involved in church or Islam. Let's get that. If you're Black American and your father is in your life and you're heavy involved in church or the mosque, you tend to find these guys who don't stray off the beaten path. Now, with the example of Jordan, let's be real about Jordan. The odds were stacked up against you. You yourself as an individual made that choice not to choose what you did. You just strictly made a choice that I ain't gonna do that.
Yeah, that's facts.
Like, let's be real. You had to give yourself credit to say that I'm not gonna go out here and do all this thing. You went and just shop clothes and just went got married. A nigga got to look at you. Oh, you was raised in a single family home and you got married at a young age. You've been with your wife 10 years. You didn't cheat on her. You didn't go. You go ahead.
And the thing is,
there's a Twitch who wrote a comment.
Oh,
Twitch. Shout out to you guys, but go ahead.
Oh. He says, coming from being married for 16 years with the same mother of my children, I get looked at as weird. Now, like I'm an oddity.
You want to know why? Because it's not the norm, especially in African American community, FBA or ADOS community. That is not the norm. And to me, and that's how I looked at it. You know, when I was like living in an environment, you know, what I see around was kind of the norm. Especially when I was living in that Pontiac Mission, that looked like the norm, and I was like, no, something's not right. And I looked at it like, I want to get out the norm. I want to do what's right. You know, get married and have a bunch of kids and everything. And you know, he has a point on that. Joe has a point on that.
Yeah.
Hold on. Who's these people that's looking at us weird? What is their credentials? What are their credibilities? Why do we care if they're in a continuous process of failing? I'm literally watching you take flights down the stairs, tumbling, high speed, no stopping soon. Why does your opinion matter?
Because we live in a society where opinions doesn't matter. Somebody, like for example, if you see a guy doing the right thing, they consider that guy to be lame. Well, you see a guy that's doing the right thing, they consider that guy to be alpha. That's backwards.
Yeah, but the thing is about it, once they get older and once you see you do well in life, like in your 30s and 40s, and once you see that when they see yourself look successfully, that you have a woman, you have kids, and you raise your kids right and everything, they go to college and everything, then once they get older, then that's when like the trickle effect, that's when they say, oh, you know, they see like they see a success, they see when they get older, they see a success to it. And they look at their life and say, yo, I was doing this, having a bunch of kids, and, I'm 40, 50 years old and I'm still doing the same thing as in, a man that's married, there's a successful thing into it because, you see you've been married for your wife for a long, long time. And you see your kids, which, as we know, kids work better in a two-parent household. They're living a successful, type of life as well. So it's just crazy, me living in an environment as, not looking at marriage and having kids and having a good, decent life, they just look at it as being weird because it's not what you see every day in those certain areas. It's not what you see every day. It's kind of like I said, you're not following the trend. when you get off trend of like an area that you live in there, that's you see somebody being married, that's not the norm, that's not they look at us like what the hell is that, because they probably don't have that in their household or in their family, maybe they had maybe out of the family, maybe one or two people, maybe aunties and uncles that was married, or they might have, hey, my great grandmother or my great grandfather was married for a long time, and after that, generation after generation, there's just been single parents after single parents after single parents as well.
I want to read this comment. He said, "The new school climate, there is no one partner, there is a multiple, but they are too young to understand you only need that one." It's very, very true. I want to mention something that I think that we overlook, that as older, because let's be real about it. A lot of us is older, all of us here are older than the guys that are under us. You feel me? The 20, the 25s, and the 26-year-olds. So we experience something different coming from the 90s era. So there's one thing I want to preference is this when it comes to having standards. I've been able to be a part of different community where I know culture plays a part, or being around a group of people who are like-minded. You know what I mean? If you breed that, you're gonna live that. If you got a bunch of girls who striving to get married and they start getting knocked off getting married, the last one gonna make sure she do this. I know that for a fact in a Nigerian house. I've been in Nigerian weddings. That's big. The sisters, the cousins, they all are involved. The fathers are there. They throwing the money. Everybody's talking, hey, we're gonna get my daughter here ready too. It's talked about, it's breed. And here's the funny thing is this: in their household, in our household, you got to get vetted, my nigga. You got to come in front of the daddy. He got to know where you work at, who your family, what you do for a living. You know what I'm trying to say?
Prince. Prince, I could,
yeah.
Can you highlight Sugar Buzz comment? I'm sorry. I got
not that one. It's the one right here.
Oh, you say
one about the kids.
Okay, so let me read this out loud. Kids grow up better in a financial stable household. It doesn't matter if it's a single household or two-parent. The common denominator is a financial stability. Sugar Bob, I rock with you. I respect you. You don't know what the fuck you're talking about. Don't ever say that again. You don't believe me? Why don't you leave the community that's called African Americans? I want you to go to the white community, especially the rich ones. They got money, but them kids are on drugs. But they got money though, and a super. So I don't even want to hear that crap ever again. Let's go to the Mexican community. Same damn thing. Now, when you go to the Asian community, you know why that's not so prevalent? It's because both parents are home.
Oh my God.
And they got culture. And their styles is a lot similar to African. So I don't ever want to hear that again. You said update talking points. Make sure you don't say that talking point again. My bad, Prince. Go ahead.
No. You're 100% right. Also, remember too, when you have a baby, the mother comes from wherever she comes to the house and stay with you for a month or two. I know this for a fact. So, not to deviate this, we as men need to have a standard the way a woman have a standard. Your seed is important. And to be willy-nilly with it is not good. Restraint, you know what I mean? Practicing restraint is a big thing. Now, I'm trying to only talk about us because I don't want, you know what I mean, Sugar Bum will go off and say that we're gonna just blame this all on women, which I'm not trying to.
No, she's talking about the aspect of talking points, which I kind of agree with her too, because especially in our community, we use a lot of talking points.
Well, number one, I debunk talking points. Number two, when it comes to talking points, the three questions will always apply. Does it make sense? Does it add value? Will it help you achieve your ultimate goal? Sugar Bomb, what you just wrote made no sense at all. Because you're talking about reading, ma'am, I need you to go read some articles, credible articles, and they will tell you how two-parent household is better than one.
Facts. That's
Now,
fact. Facts. Study.
what does it mean?
Yeah, I know they're gonna go back because I say I like Sugar because Sugar will give you that rebuttal, but
Yeah.
it's a fact. What Chris
Now,
saying about the two-parent household.
now, we're not saying Sugar Bum, they're not outliers. We're not saying that they're not outliers. We're not saying that they're not single mothers out there who are raising households, but we're talking about from the majority. We're going to give the props to the women who's able to raise a household of kids and they got doctors and lawyers. We're not talking those women, we put those on the pedestal. You know what I mean? But from the majority aspect, from what we see, just even from a day-to-day perspective of people who we know personally, if we trace back their dysfunction, if we look at this dysfunction and trace it back, it might lead to somebody missing in that house.
I would say Sugar, she gonna give you that pushback, but
Well, until she actually sends me articles, I'm not listen. I'm not accepting what she's saying.
no.
But she's saying this and she has no kids. She's saying this and she is not married.
Sugar
Oh,
Bomb needs to send those articles to me because, like I said, I do a series on debunking talking points. She could send that to me, and we can have that conversation. Until then, she wilding.
listen, if she was gangster enough, she'll get on this panel now.
Sugar Mom, sweetheart, I know you stay in DC, so I will be there on the first weekend in November. We can have this conversation, and you can bring me all the articles, and we can debunk everything right there over some coffee.
That's even if she gonna pop up. She wants to
Exactly.
be.
Yeah, she remember she popped up in Miami for the weekend. She gonna see y'all.
She ain't never let us know.
You get what I'm saying? Like cap. So I can argue with you. No argument is also healthy. If you can argue your points, y'all both can learn from each other from the argument. So argument is not always a bad thing, Sugar. You should already know that.
No, I don't argue because we're gonna read it there together. And guess what? I'm man enough to say, you know what? You got that. I was wrong. Let me make sure I fire up the string and let everybody know that I was wrong on this point. Let me show you where I got it wrong, and here's the right answer. And I also give credit.
But you know what
So
Sugar Bun,
the
I'm gonna
door's
say,
open.
You know what Sugar Bun is, the need to be rock is very, very strong with her. Very strong with her.
No, I'm arguing with Sugar. If I see her in real life, if she a real person, I'm arguing with her because I know she probably a black woman. I'm arguing. I'm gonna argue with her until somebody gonna get the points right. You get what I'm saying? Just for the hell of it, because I know she's Sugar. No, but on a serious note, so what is the aspect? What do we go from here? Because then now we have two different type of group of black men who's doing two different type of things. One is promoting more single mothers. The other one is not. So how can we all get on the same page together?
Um,
Shout out to Motivating Vision. That's my sweetheart there. Go ahead.
it is what Jordan said. We need to bring back shame. We need to hold these men accountable. We need to tell the brother, hey, maybe you might need to get a vasectomy. You got enough. You know what I mean? We need to start teaching young men about sexual promiscuity, being restraint. You know what I mean? Injecting them into their minds. Yo, the fact of the matter is, we need to bring these boys back to Boy Scouts. You know what I mean? And we also need to be involved in our daughter's mating. You know what I mean? Man, boy and girl, in my opinion, we need to be involved in their dating aspect. Culturally, other races has do this. We need to be enforced this. If you're Muslim, your wali has to go on a date with you and the guy. You're not left alone. You're not left alone. No time until y'all get married. Families got to talk. We need to start implementing the same tactic in this. A woman would say, hey, you want to date me? You got to come meet my daddy. He's over here at the shop over here. He might say, what do I need to talk to your daddy for? I'm dating with a purpose. If you're dating with a purpose, you should meet my daddy. He'll size you up and say, he's not good. Let him go.
Well, yeah, we all date with the purpose. We just got to make sure our intentions are aligned. So if you're talking about marriage, you're gonna have to meet that father one way or another, and you're gonna have to have that conversation with them one way or another as well. So you don't know where that fear came from, but you get that out of your system because the father will sniff that out, and he be like, "You too scared to be with my daughter. Danger comes. What you gonna do? Run?" So y'all really talking about this marriage life? You guys gotta prepare yourself. And also, real quick to answer Ronnie asked, you gotta ask yourself, what do you want in life? No one's gonna tell you that but you. You gotta figure that out. Let's say you do want to get married. Are you prepared for marriage? Because I knew 6 months into dating my wife, I knew I wanted to marry her, but I had nothing to show that I can take care of her.
I like.
But so you know what I had to do? I had to figure out, what do I need to do? Okay, I already got my car, so let's see. Let me go get my own place. Let me find a better job than what I'm doing right now. Let me actually show a resume of me taking care of myself,
Woo!
providing for myself, a stable household, have all the necessities in the household. So when what was that? Was it May 3rd? No, February 3rd or February 5th? I can't remember the date. Either one of those 2 days in 2015. Got my own place, got a studio. It was a studio apartment. The only thing separated the bedroom and my living room was a nice long bookshelf. It was good enough for me. I put furniture in that house. I took care of that house. I did all of that, and I had money saved up. And because right there, I had to show her father, her mother, my parents, the whole
Let's talk
family.
about it.
I can do this by myself. I don't need her help. And that's what we did.
Damn.
And we've been together for 10 years, and this December will be 7 years we've been married.
Congratulations.
Preach.
Yeah.
You be in the chat with like, wow, that's
He's talking that talk, ladies. You
Yeah.
only going to hear it here. He's talking that talk. That's that talk y'all want to
Hey.
hear.
I could cover what Christopher J said. Well, my situation, it's like, hey, when I lived in Miami, if I want to have a family, I want to get married, I need to find somewhere that I want to be stable in. For me, I always wanted to move to California and raise a family. I always wanted to do that. When I told my wife to say, hey, even though at the time it was either Atlanta or California, I was like, hey, even though I know Atlanta is close to your family because for families is majority is, I was like, hey, let's take this little jump in California. If it don't work out for 2 to 3 years, we'll move back. We've been here for 4 years. We live in a luxury apartment. We got a nice life. We're making good money. You know, good car. We're good. We have a baby on the way. We got everything saved up, and we're good.
Good job.
He's talking that talk,
Yeah.
and they're married.
no, but Hakeem, what I told you, most men don't wait that long to find out if that girl he want to
No.
marry. Christopher took him 6 months. Jordan,
Yes, 6 months. I already know I wanted to marry her. Now I just need to go ahead, proceed with the next step of making sure that she's my wife.
we be capping, man.
Listen, but there's both things y'all didn't say that gets overlooked. Both of y'all families were involved.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, for sure.
You had to go meet your girls. You had to go meet her dad and her mama and her sister. You had to sit down. You had to talk, and you already went and proved that you were worthy. Most men don't got the guts to go even talk to the father. There's women who are in relationships who they have not met their mate's parents yet.
Oh, that's a whole nother situation.
That's a whole nother show. There's women who have kids with men who parents don't even know what they look like.
You got to make that make sense to me.
Boy, y'all,
Yeah, King, you're not
Because
lying.
that's deep, Hakeem. That's deep.
Cause I want to know this. If Jay Fizzle, did you go meet all your baby's mama's dads? Did they approve of you? I'm talking to you, Jay Fizzle. Did they approve of you for you to ejaculate in their daughters and leave them to all be baby mamas?
Mm.
Our brother here from Twitch said, I had to prove to my mother-in-law I was worthy. That's a man. Just the same thing as what Christopher J said. Real men ain't complaining about paying bills, putting the money down, getting the crib together. They're not complaining about that. They just go ahead and do it.
Hakeem Sugar Bone say, why you Hakeem, you don't marry? Why he trying to shade me?
He said Hakeem is unmarried. Why he trying to shade me? Because here's the thing, Sugar Bum. I'm not saying the things I'm not shading you, Queen. You want to get married? I want to get married as well, but I'm not talking.
I don't think she does because she said marriage ain't a flex in 2023. She also said most of marriage is in. So it's like, hey, if you, and that's the thing about it. And granted, I'm not taking what she said in full totality. I know how Sugar Bum gets down. So this is not me bashing on Sugar Bum. If to those who don't want to get married, by all means, don't get married. Please don't if you're not ready. Like, don't see other brothers be like, oh, if they marry, I'm gonna get married too. Slow your roll. Because I put this in my marriage series, particularly part 1.
Nice.
Do
When
you know you're like, huh?
or like a video like you drop in, or it's gonna be on your channel?
I might revamp it and do another video.
Okay.
And that way it's a little bit more polished and cleaned up. So I don't see why I couldn't do it this week. So I'll make sure I'll get that done sometime this week.
Okay, most definitely.
But
yeah,
as far as the marriage, here's one thing we can prove: marriages are better. Married households are better than single households.
Talk that talk.
That has been proven. Just because you think you survived your single household, and by all means you did not succeed, you just barely survived. So what's up? Nothing beats the unification. One partner provides who supports you and cherish the values you bring. Facts. 100% facts. Now, just hear me out. Marriage is not a miracle solution for personal problems. Kids ain't a fix for a relationship and marriage problems, but most people operate that way. That's right. So, here's what I say. I'm just gonna give you guys part 1 of the marriage series. 5 steps. Number 1, what is your strengths in this relationship? Number 2, what are your weaknesses? Number 3, what are 3 things that describe you as far as your standard goes? Because that's pretty much your name badge when you go into this dating market or this courting market. Once you get out the way, part 4 is, step 4 is real simple. Build your spouse. What name 3 standards that is you have to have in your spouse, and know the differences between standards and preferences. 2 different things. They are not the same. The reason why most people fail in the dating market, and yeah, somebody got feedback. Okay, we're good. The reason why most people fail in the dating market and marriage is because you're so, and I said this before on Is channel, you're so focused on the preferences, you forgot the standards. You're so focused on the preferences, you forgot the standards. Name the 3 things, at least 3 things that your significant other has to have. For the fellas, don't tell me she has to be, what did they say? Fit, friendly, submissive, cooperative, all this other stuff. That's things women are supposed to have anyway. Find something else. Find 3 things that your wife needs to have. Ladies, don't say stability, provision, protection. I don't want to hear that. Name the other 3 things that a man has to have. as far as standards go. Then you guys could filter out the purposes later. Then once you get through that step, the fifth step is go search for your spouse. Who, what, when, where, how, and why. Once you answer those questions, congratulations. You have potentially found the individual you're going to spend the rest of your life with. And then that's when part two of the marriage series come in, but we'll talk about that later. So the reason why most of these marriages and the relationship fails, it has nothing to do with the person that you're with. It has to do with the person that you see in the mirror. Y'all got it.
No, I think the host, yeah, I would say it makes a big difference what you're saying. That's something when you said about that, it makes a whole lot of sense. Go ahead, Joe.
Yep.
Yeah, go ahead, Joe.
It is the same woman having babies with different men. Sweet sugar, but we not even talking about the women. We just talking about Jay Fizzle.
Yeah,
We haven't mentioned.
we haven't talked about the women at all. To be
We ain't mentioned nothing about the women. We're holding men accountable. Since that's the way you like it, sugar bum.
Sugar can't lay. That's what happened. That's what happened.
Uh,
You would have came at 6 o'clock Eastern time, you wouldn't have that issue. But you came late. Now you think we blaming the, we're not even talking about it. We talking about the man. It was a man.
All you do is watch the playback.
Or watch the playback. So had 16 baby mamas. That was him.
Yeah, Sugar Bunny, you was here. You would have heard me go in on this guy. There's no excuse for that. To have 16 baby mothers.
basically.
No excuse.
Don't you talking about the title of the show?
Yeah. Joey them say, do you brothers agree with that when we were 25, our mentalities were vastly different, but strong partner, mature you and motivate you to grow to be the best that you can be?
Um, it helps. Honestly, it helps. There's nothing wrong with that. But the driving factor of you being better needs to be always be you.
Yep.
You got to make sure you're the foundation of why you are progressing in life. Yes, she can be that cheerleader on the side. Nothing wrong with that. Lord knows. I appreciate my wife cheering for me, any new ideas that I have going on. But at the end of the day, she can do all that cheerleading. It means nothing if I don't make that initial step.
I'm gonna always say this: there's a template we can all follow, but like you say, from an individual standpoint, you have to be self-aware and willing to want to put in the work. You feel me?
Mm-hmm.
That's the most important thing.
And then also, I would say, ask, like I say, if you need help with anything, ask a friend, or ask somebody that's older who's been in these issues. They could definitely help you out on that as well.
What do they say? Hang around the people you're trying to be like. If I want to be married, I'm gonna go hang around a couple of married guys who's gonna groom me and who's going to get me together. He said, hey brother, you got to get yourself together. You can't marry none of these women over here. Listen, this is when I was like hanging with I was with the Nigerians, and I said, yo, give me a Nigerian wife. I want one. He said, brother, you got to get yourself together first. Your money has to be on point. That's all way they used to tell me. Hey, you got to get yourself together. You know what I mean? It's important. And that goes for anybody. You got to get yourself together, and you got to understand the standard of what you're trying to set, and understand the women that you're trying to get. They have a standard too. You can go get somebody who don't got no standard. They'll gladly take you, because that's what Jay Fizzle was not providing no standard. And he was able to get a couple people who wasn't looking for nothing special.
I want to ask you guys, did y'all ever answer? Sugar Mom was asking a question. I think she said one of the questions. She said, because why are they having kids with men that have so many already?
If we're trying to hold men accountable, she's asking a question where I got to start looking at the women.
Mm-hmm.
Like, if there's 5 people already in the burning building, who am I going to blame? I'm probably going to blame that 5th person for going in the burning building.
Okay. It's simple as that.
Listen, after the second baby mama, ain't no excuse.
But remember, I told you there's a lot of women that are attracted to not a lot, that are trying to do those type of men. Are the more baby he has, the more baby mama, they oh that man is or something in society. I don't want to.
Well, shoot, to that, I say thank you. Because that's one less woman that I got to worry about on the dating market. If that's what you think a man is, hey, I'm not the guy for you. But do me a favor, move out the way because there's another woman who don't have the same mentality as you, and you blocking the way. So,
Okay. So, guys, you already know we already hit our hour mark. Of course, it's always welcome. It's always a pleasure to have Chris on the show. Chris, of course, the floor is yours. Tell the guys how can they find you, where can they reach you at, if they have any way to ask for even a marital advice, where can they find you? Go right ahead.
no problem. It's the BTSI show right here as far as uh, Facebook, X, Instagram, any social media that I have fan base now. So if you guys want to reach out, talk, you have a comment, or you heard something I say, you want to uh, delve into it. My DMs are open, so you guys can hit me up. We can talk about that. I do want to say this, ladies and gentlemen. My wife does have access to my phone because I allow her to have access to my phone. So please be respectful in the DMs. I trust me. I already got one. I don't need no second one. See, when you found one, everybody else, yeah, I'm good. That position is closed. It's already taken up. So, just want to throw that out there. And also,
Mm.
what I'll do is, sometime this week, I will go over and do the marriage series, and I will have that posted probably, if not Thursday evening, Friday morning. So y'all stay tuned for that.
Yeah, so how can you highlight Natasha? She actually put Christopher show. Can you highlight that for people that's not with us on Facebook, just for the people that's on Twitch? So guys, as you can see, Christopher link is right there. So y'all go make sure to subscribe, support this brother. He's an upcoming content creator. As you can see, he gives out great advice for especially man, especially in a time of need. Because I'm not gonna lie, black men right now we in a time of need. Black men pretty much we have lost pretty much our structure on a lot of things, especially when it comes to wives, babies, man, careers, everything. It's like I don't know, man. It's like we've been going backwards, actually going forward. So I don't know. Probably us going backwards is probably teaching us how to go forward, but I don't know. It's just weird. It's just weird at the time we're living in today. And Hakeem Jordan, I don't know. You guys have any final thoughts as we get ready to close?
The only thing I want to say, let me just highlight this brother who came and joined us. I don't know how to pronounce his name. Joe Hurtim.
I think Joe.
Yeah,
Joe Hurd. Joe
Joe
Hurd.
heard him. Joe heard him.
Joe
Joe
Hurtim.
Hurd.
Joe don't hurt him. Joe hurt him.
Joe, he said, "Thank you, brothers, for the great dialogue with intelligent men who came from all to learn from. Appreciate y'all. We appreciate you for joining us, brother."
This is what I like to see. This is what I like to see. I'm saying we having a conversation. We having a conversation because people say, "Oh, we always talking about chaos." Like, okay, what's going on in the rap career? And this, I was like, no. What made me fall in love with Chaos Culture Radio is the aspect that we having deep conversation and we don't have to deal with anybody cursing each other out, dropping people down. Like, literally having a conversation. Go ahead, Jordan.
Yeah, man, I agree, man. It's just like I said, we just gotta continue to have this conversation, man. Especially us men. If we're the leaders, if we gonna, do what we need to do, we need to keep speaking on this. That's my take on that. My final thoughts.
And like always, man, shout out to the people in the chat, guys. That's why it's so very important on your way. Please make sure y'all hit that like button. Please make sure you subscribe button if you have not done. Make sure y'all hit that notification bell on the right hand side. Remember, we do Wednesday, Friday, 6 o'clock Eastern time. Like always, shout out Joe. Don't hurt him. over there in Twitch. Shout out to you. Shout out to I'm trying to read what on a spot live on what live. If it's live, I can't. That's how you say her name.
Yeah,
Right?
on the
Yeah,
spot live.
on the spot live.
We would like to interview her as well. That's a woman. Man, I'm like,
Yeah,
No,
it
no, she's
is.
a woman. I think she does financial literacy or Bitcoin or something like that.
be her, especially when it comes to the aspect of money, because I love. Shout out to Sugar Bump, even though she gave us a hard time with the pushback. Shout out to Jessica Young, Motivating Vision, and of course the lovely Natasha Vincent. Shout out to Sherry Bryant and also her son Sky. Her son actually watched the show, Christopher J. Her son actually watched the show, and he's a young man. He actually watched. But that's why it's kind of good that I'm saying we helping to you. Shout out to Realistic Vibe. We love her. Shout out to her as
I
well.
appreciate that. Thank you.
She love you too, Christopher. She said hello. I don't know if you saw that comment. I'm trying to make sure we had a lot of people in the chat. Oh, shout out to Ricky Webster. Shout out to
My brother Ricky.
Terrell.
See you, man.
Hakeem, your lights went out.
Oh.
Yeah, so shout out to you guys. And not only that, guys, also very important if you go to the KL Culture Radio community tab, in the community tab, there's you already know the KL Culture Radio t-shirt. And also breaking news, we got the KL Culture Radio hat, which is mine's being ordered. And also the coffee mug for the coffee drink. As you can see, Jordan has his already. And not only that, but also Prince Hakeem new book, Black Love. Thank you guys so much for supporting the platform, man. Like, we on our way to 1K subscribers, guys. Y'all help is helping us out a lot. Y'all don't understand, man. We came from the bottom, and now we're here.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. Thank you for tuning in to KL Culture Radio. Shout out to you for Christopher J, man. Guys, make sure you subscribe to the channel. Support the brother. We will have him on the show once again. Thank you so much, Christopher. Guys. Thank you guys for tuning in. Be over and out.
Peace.
Peace.
Peace, peace, peace.